Hello folks, welcome back to a new set of Hobby Nightmares. If you want to get involved in sending me some things for the Q&A session that we do once a month, then make sure you're involved in the Patreon. If you want to buy me a beer or a coffee or anything like that, the Patreon is the place to go. It is down below. Enter in there at any amount that you want and you can send me anything that you like in terms of a message or in terms of a Q&A question for the monthly Q&A sessions, right? Cool! Let's jump in, shall we? Evan is first this week, and Evan, a few weeks ago, if you aren't aware, he sent in a Hobby Nightmare where he was a dungeon master in a D&D game with two male friends. We'll call them Friend A and Friend B, and Friend A's girlfriend, essentially, right? Well, Friend B stole Friend A's girlfriend right there at the gaming table, and instead of quitting that campaign, Evan decided to carry on, and I called him out for it a little bit, saying, hey, you know, your friend A doesn't need to be involved in that campaign where this love rat couple are sitting there rubbing it in his face. After that campaign finished, said love rat couple then made the DM's life a living hell. And I thought, you know what? You can't have it coming. if you forced everybody to carry on that campaign. He was in the comment section afterwards, you know, explaining his actions and stuff. So I kind of came around to his point of view quite a lot in the comment section, and I always like it when people do that. Like, they don't just scurry off into the night. They actually go in the comment section and, you know, respond to feedback about their Hobby Nightmare, which is always very nice. Anyway, this is a follow-up to that, and let's see where he's gone since then. This is quite an in-depth Hobby Nightmare to get into. So, Evan says, "Hi North, just a few clarifications before I begin my follow-up story. Firstly, I'm nowhere near well off, but I'm 7 years into a niche trade, wallpaper, and was making really good money in high school since I had no bills other than my car. Nowadays, I just pick up a box of models most paydays and work on them until the next payday. I do get paid a decent wage, so it doesn't put me into poverty. Just keeps me in an apartment, thank the God Emperor. I do collect Chaos Space Marines as well, and I'll include some photos of them. They are my villain army, which I affectionately referred to as my Skittles Marines, alright? I'll get into them in a minute. In fact, no, I'll carry on reading for now. I'm definitely not one to get my feelings hurt by a YouTube video, and you made my day by showing off my models, thank you. The previous Hobby Nightmare was a bit scrambled, as I'm a very inexperienced writer, so please forgive my all-over-the-place writing. I'll try to keep the narrative a bit closer to the main story this time. I was a little worried about the last one becoming a no-hobby story, so I tried to keep it primarily to the hobby. Also, I'm sorry, as I should have specified what the Magic the Gathering stuff was in my last time I sent an email, which is my bad. Luckily, the comments beat me to it. Yeah, they did. Alright. I asked Adrian if he wanted me to dissolve the group. Okay, so Adrian was the friend who was cheated on by Lee and Hannah, who were at the group last time. So, I asked Adrian if he wanted me to dissolve the group, kick Lee and Hannah to the curb, put her in the sea, as you say, or if he wanted to continue to the finale, which I realise now I never should have made an option anyway. He said he wanted to finish because he didn't want Hannah to ruin everything else he loves, so we continued on. A huge mistake, but I never realised quite how much of a mistake it was until you pointed it out, so thank you for that. It has given me a chance to apologise. Good man! Excellent stuff. This is what we like to know and like to see. Yeah, you should never have made that an option, because Adrian is never, ever going to want to stop the campaign. Why? Well, yeah, maybe he doesn't want his toxic ex to annihilate everything that he loves, but also, he knows you've worked hard on it. Right? You're the main person who's going to be put out by the campaign ending. So you need to be the one to say, we're ending it. I'm in charge of it, we're ending it. We're not doing this anymore, man. Take responsibility. Don't give people options. Anyway, I wanted to be as brief on Adrian's details because he hadn't yet given permission for me to post anything about him. He has now, so I can clarify. Adrian and I spent the next 2 weeks doing pretty much whatever he wanted after I got off work, and I took all of my vacation time as well. I spent hundreds of dollars of savings, sold my Necron Army too, to go do go-karts, drinks and models. I bought him my weekly box of models both weeks and gave him my unpainted Primaris from my pile of shame so he could paint it together. Hanging out with him before he was to leave. He wanted to salvage his over 4-year friendship with Lee, as it was his longest friendship ever, and this was until the fist fight, that is. We talked about everything he felt. We had talked for many days and into the night. Alright, well, I don't get why Adrian's trying to, any friend of mine, dude, that friendship's over. There's no recovering from that. I'm sorry, right? I don't care if you've been friends with this guy for 25 years. If your friend snakes your woman, that's it. They're gone, right? They've broken a murder. They've broken bro code. Get them out. Just get them gone. Anyway, Adrian and I are still very close, and we talk about our models or memes nearly every day. Luckily, I have learned a lot about toxic fucking people and how better to stand by your true friends, not the ones who are worthless shits like Lee and Hannah. Adrian and I travel to see each other and play at his nearest game store sometimes, and I'm actually glad you pointed out some of my mistakes I'd missed at the time. Honestly, thank you for being so frank, yet precise in your speech. Since then, I have directly and precisely apologised to him. He appreciated me sharing the story because Hannah has gaslit him into thinking it was his fault what she did. Whoa. You were spot on about her mother, by the way. Yeah, I had a feeling I was going to be. So thank you for helping clear that burden from him. He needed some validation from someone other than me. He told me it has helped him immensely. That's good, that's good. We're helping people even third hand now, which is good. Now, hopefully that wasn't too boring or rambling. And on to the Hobby Nightmares sequel. I just thought your readers might want to know what has happened since the last time before I dive into this one. Yeah, good. Excellent. Adrian's other friends had introduced me to this girl about a month before he had left, and she and I had hit it off. Despite her behaviours, which I now know to watch closer for which were symptoms of her wider psychopathy or sociopathy, I'm still not certain if she faked emotions to manipulate or if she made poor decisions because of the emotions. She was very experienced, quote-unquote, sexually, and as lads do, I was led into a trap. Good sex is just too alluring sometimes, especially as I was on a couple of months dry spell as it was harder to meet girls since I was now out of school. This woman, who I'll call Ashley, was a person who hung out at the game store. She was twice my age. She liked D&D and was done with 40k and had sold her Dark Eldar in 7th edition. I was at my lowest point, self-inflicted to be fair, and I went to live with her. The rent was cheap, as we were renting the upstairs of a flat that a hoarder was living in on the bathroom on the bottom floor, so our portion of the rent was very low. Ashley was fine at first, but over time his psychological problems would bubble to the surface. A manipulation here, an insult there, and not constructive criticism like actual vitriol and hatred. Okay. Before I carry on, how do I put this? Alright. I've been with many girls in my time who are good in bed. Let's say good, right? Good. Good is what you want, lads. Good is what you want. Right? A good girl doing bad things because she loves you. That's what you want. Okay? Women who are amazing in bed, to a woman, are fucking psychopaths. To a woman. I have never known, right, a woman to be amazing in bed and normal. They've always been fucking mental. Absolutely mental. And this is the thing that makes me say a lot of the time, you know, when people say, what, you think it's okay for men to sleep around but it's not okay for women? Yes. That's exactly what I think. And not because I don't think women should sleep around. Listen, if you could handle it mentally, I'd say go for it. And if you're a woman who can, who's basically a dude in brain, and you can do that, go for it. Sleep with as many people as you want. But the vast majority of them that I've come across who do that shit and become really good in the sack are fucking broken people. Mental. Toxic. Red flags all over the place. Okay? It doesn't work for the vast majority of them. Look at male porn stars. Most of them have their own businesses. Most of them are running successful YouTube channels and selling books and careers and all sorts. Look at female porn stars. The vast majority are fucking wrecks. Paranoid, crying wrecks. There's a reason for it, alright? They're not meant to do those things. It fucks with the brain. It fucks with the animal part of their brain that says you shouldn't be doing these things. And eventually, all those chickens come home to roost. You don't want them coming home to roost in your flat. Alright? You want a good girl who does bad things because she loves you. That's what you want. You want a good girl who's good in bed, but she says, oh my god, I'm so bad for doing that, right? But she does it because she loves you. That's what you want. That's the jackpot right there. Wife that girl up. Put a ring on the finger. Right? You know, if a woman's amazing in bed, just know there's a reason why she's amazing in bed. Yeah. She had a lot of practice with a lot of different people. And most people who do that, most women who do that, tend to go off the deep end. Couldn't tell you why. Just what they do. Anyway. Now, this hoarder downstairs had a yappy little dog, Zito, but refused to feed him more than once a week because that's all he needs. Quote unquote. So you would have to eat her fast food leftovers out of the bin. Oh my god. We've got a guy like this on our street, or on my grandpa's street. So his ex-girlfriend left him with 2 cats, and when he broke up with her, and he has them in his house, and he just leaves them outside. They've become feral. He's just a fucking idiot, and I've told him. We've had an argument, several arguments now. Anyway, I'm a bit of an animal lover, so I started feeding him small dinners, and after a while, he would come to me when I called him. So after a few weeks of this and training, he began to be a dog and not a feral barking rat that nobody liked. It's impressive what love can do to really change a dog. He deserved much better, so I told his owner, the hoarder, that she was going to feed him properly or I was going to rescue him. I had been dogless since Lee took his dog back, and soon he was my dog. And boy, is he a happy dog now. Photo attached. I'm really sorry if you're recording this on your laptop. I'm not. Mate, thank you. Dog pictures. Let's do this. Let's do this. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Okay. Ah, isn't that lovely? Okay, I'll put it on screen now. For those of you who are, where's the dog picture? It's coming now. It's coming now. Just chill, fucking hell, dude. Right. Okay. Yeah, doing this on a PC is a lot easier than doing it on a laptop. Especially when people throw, like, normally I read the first half of Hobby Nightmares. Dog, ladies and gents. Oh, he's got cataracts in one eye. Oh. Oh dear. Still looks like a very happy dog, though. That looks like a very happy dog. That's lovely. Oh dear. Let's look at the next one. The next one's models. Oh, boo! I thought there was more dog pictures. Oh, well. Still cool. I like him. There's no going wrong with Baylor. I said it last time. There is no going wrong with Baylor, dude. He's just amazing. Anyway, back to the dog. Right, I'll read the rest of this email, shall I? Lita, a member of our D&D group, began to hang out with me, and we talked a lot about how each of us was doing in our past, and she became my best friend. We talked so much, we knew each other really well, as we would smoke together in the garage. My converted gaming area with a 4x3 table, shelves, a couch, and lights. We would hang out pretty often. She knew how miserable I was, and how Ashley was behind closed doors. I don't want anyone to feel like I'm a victim, so I won't get into that, but just know it was the bed I made, and I deserved to lie in it until I had the willpower to get out of it. Yes! Well done for taking some responsibility for your own actions. There's nothing I hate more, right? If you're a victim, fine, dude, I get it, I'm on your side. But to sit there in the fire and complain it's hot? No. There needs to be a time when you get out of there, right? Do you know what I mean? Anyway, so, after a couple of months of losing the feelings I got from Ashley, as was inevitable from choosing to replace a toxic friendship with a toxic piece of shit girlfriend, and she decided to ask if I wanted an open relationship. Okay, it's finished. It's finished. You can walk away. You can walk away. I should have jumped ship that day, but I hadn't seen enough of your videos to know to put her in the sea, as you say. We had a lot of threesomes with other women at a club, and she had been working that angle for a while, I realised. Yeah, that's what she's doing. She's so experienced at being a hoe that she's okay sleeping with other women because it's buttering you up for when she introduces a new penis into the relationship. Guys, if your woman wants to sleep with another woman in your relationship, ask yourself why. If she's not bisexual, ask yourself why. Because she's met a guy that she wants to fuck and she doesn't want to feel very guilty about doing so. That's why. Anyway, since I felt nothing for her, but I'd been bugged by her to stay when I said I didn't feel comfortable around her anymore, so I started fooling around with the stunningly beautiful rogue of our group, Lita. She and I were good friends at this point, and I was to learn later that she had a growing crush on me. Lita knew more about how I felt within the weeks of talking than Ashley did after months of dating. And when Ashley decided to begin to be abusive and berate me over seeing Lita, literally what she had asked for and I had permission for, though not a mistake I'd make again, so I told her I was done, that I would be back for my things once I had a storage unit, and if she damaged anything or tried to hit me, I would not hesitate to call the cops. I hated using that, but that's what they're for. Indeed, yes, good. I lived in a borrowed motorhome, and my incredibly kind grandparents let me shower at their house and park there, while I saved up cash. I got my own apartment, and after a few months of dating Lita and staying at her place a couple of days a week, I knew her pretty well. Her lease was up, and I asked if she wanted to move in. Now, the hobby finally comes into it, because when she moved in, she realised how many models I had, and asked why I had explained when asked why, I explained the law to her first, then showed her my models. She was amazed that they all had names written on their bases, and I had a little headcanon story for each. I walked her through the lore videos that got me into the hobby, then one day, it was all over when she found Lewitton's Emperor of Mankind video. She took to the hobby like a fish to water after that. I bought as a starter set, and I wanted the new Terminators, and she wanted to play Tyranids. So, I bought her that box. Once she had built and painted the gaunts, it was all over for her. She fell in love with the Psychophage, photo attached, and the Infernus Marines. I began to teach her the rules as I was learning 10th edition myself. She was the perfect player as well. Within a couple of months, we were running a map campaign as my Orcs, Chaos Marines, and her Tyranids attacked the besieged world of Saintfall. We have been reading, for me rereading, the Caiaphas Cain books together, and she loves it. We'll be playing our 40th game this Valentine's Day, and I'm hoping the majority of my mistakes have been made. Hopefully everybody else got the lesson from the last video. Throw scumbags from the parapet or they will ruin everything for you. Defend those you care for, but only when they are in the right. Thanks for the videos, North. Hopefully it wasn't too rambling. This is great. Great, I loved it. Absolutely great. You know, what more can I say? What more can I say? You've learned the lessons from life and you've gone on, and this is what you get for not being a toxic asshole and for going up there and working on yourself. You seem to have a really good attitude, right? Because when I climbed into you last time, because I was really fucking annoyed that you'd actually carried on with your campaign when your friend's sitting there in that amount of pain. Do you know what I mean? But you know, I just think, yeah, great, well done. You've gone and done yourself proud there. You've learned, you've moved on, and you've made right by people. You can say no more than that, man. You can say no more than that. Well done to you. Right, moving on. Next Hobby Nightmare. Jacket Poncho says, alrighty, Jacket Poncho. Can a poncho have jacket? I don't know. Lovely mug of Yorkshire tea. I love you so much. Anyway. Hey North. It's been a while since my last nightmare. Under a different name. But I love playing tabletop RPGs and, by extension, playing said RPGs in the Warhammer 40,000 setting. I am an odd fellow in that I absolutely love the lore and have read hundreds, literally, of books set in the universe from all angles. Imperium, Xenos, Chaos, the lot. I also unironically buy codexes, all of them, just for their lore. I know. I really don't play the game at all, and I've never really had an itch to do so. But I do have a lot of models though, but these are only used on the tabletop for role-playing purposes. Okay. Why have I never heard of that before? When at the table, there is nothing quite like having our guardsman party or models sourced from other games to represent our inquisitorial henchmen coming face to face with an actual Space Marine to scale. The imposing size and look of the Primaris Marines these days makes it awesome to see people go, oh shit, when one turns up. I love it. Same goes for the Xenos races. If you've never used 40k miniatures for Dark Heresy, you are missing a treat of visual storytelling. I mean, sure, you could just tell the players they've run into a Gene Stealer down a dark corridor and a Space Hulk, but the look on their faces when I slam that bad boy down right next to their character is priceless. Oh my god, yeah. That's cool, man. That's cool. I'm surprised not more people do that. A lot of folks I play with appreciate what I do and think it's great. There was one player, Mikey, who was not such a person. You see, Mikey just had to be the main star, the main character, the crux around which all things in the game flowed. I'd known him for years, and out of the group, I was playing with I'd known him for years, and out of the group I was playing with, the others were amazing people and characters, but I'd met them only a few months before at a convention. Mikey was like my brother. That makes it all the worse, when he is in fact the douchebag problem player of this story. He was not always like this though. University seemed to change him. Before he left, Mikey was one of my dearest friends. Like, he would always be helping me with scenery for games, and we'd play WoW raids together all the time. We'd even build and design several settings to place RPGs into whenever we could in high school, replete with his amazing art and character work. He was a great drawer. There were several clubs after school that we got involved with that covered this, and it was all in all a really cool time. When we got older, we'd go drinking and hang out and carry on the same nerdy pastimes. And at the age of 23, he decided to finally chase that degree at college. That was all good with me, and I wished him well. When he did visit, he seemed to shift in his demeanour though. He was argumentative, always needing to be right and very dismissive of those around him. Worse still, he had gotten involved in the competitive side of nerdiness. He was super into Magic the Gathering now and played for absolute blood, getting hot and flustered whenever he was losing and rubbing his wins in his opponents' faces. I had no idea where my Mikey had gone, but this guy was like a stranger to me at times. Before I carry on, I've seen similar things about university from other people. Do you know what I mean? Like, people have said, you know, I lost my friend at university. He went away. I was never the same guy. That's because it can be a bit of a thought bubble. Do you know what I mean? It can be just a bubble of people saying all the same things to you constantly all of the time, and saying, you know, saying all this happened to me at university. Like you get like people on the left, not so much on the right because they were easy to see. That was the point. When I was at university, people who were on the far right, and there were people there, they were easy to see and avoid because they didn't want to be around me either. Do you know what I mean? So they'd be like, "Yeah, fuck you," and I'd be like, "Yeah, fuck you," and I'd walk off and do my own thing, right? It's people on the far left who were insidious. They'd work their way into your social circles. They'd work your way into your friends groups by liking the same things you do, which they don't really, but it is what it is. And then they start to infect people around them with the bullshit, right? And they would start telling you that people at your hometown were all toxic, especially the boomers, quote unquote, right? Especially those, your parents, your grandparents. Dude, so many kids went home poisoned at the age of 18. I can imagine the amount of arguments that must have been going on when kids went home. Alright? It even got to me a little bit. I went home and I did have this like disdain for my hometown. And then I just sort of went, you know what? No, I like it here. Fuck that shit. And I actually just rebelled against it. And when I went back to university, I was persona non grata for a while because I wouldn't put up with it. Well, you don't know where I come from. Go fuck yourself. You don't know my family either, douchebag. Go fucking swivel. Go swivel on a dick. Or go nail yourself to a cross. We know you want to. Go on, nail yourself to the cross. Go on, off you go. We'll all applaud. And thank you for your sacrifice, fucking dickhead. Anyway. When he finally finished his studies and headed home, he got a job in IT that he generally quite liked. And I hoped the time away from campus would mellow him out somewhat. Soon, the opportunity to run a new Dark Heresy campaign came up, and since my last interactions on WoW with him had gone so well, I asked him if he wanted to join, and he said yes. Well, what follows is the teardown of a decade-long relationship. Oh no. So here goes. We have our 4 characters in this tale, including me, with the others being Mikey, our polymorph assassin. That comes into play a bit later, when he tries to inject himself into nearly every single scene that we try and do. He had no more backstory than that and told me he wanted to reveal it as we went along. This is red flag number 1. Never let your players do this. As the GM, you should know everything about your players' backstories, even if you can't tell the other players at the table. You are the storyteller, you are the world. They are characters in the world and in the story. The second you give them license to tell their own story independent from everybody else at the table, shit is going to hit the fan. I couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. Player number 2, Sarah, a psyker and bride of the Emperor. I am not shitting you, she had a dream where she married the Astronomicon beam. When I asked her how that even works, she glared at me in character and asked me if I was questioning her faith. So I let it slide. Love it. Yeah, let it slide, dude. That's cool. David, an Ogrin. Yeah, he literally sat there counting his fingers just like they do on the shuttle rides on Darktide. A lovable and smiling meat mountain who called Sarah boss despite her not being affiliated with the Imperial Guard anymore since her psychic awakening. The group are tasked by their Inquisitor, Aurelius, with infiltrating a space station and taking down the shields around its core, which he suspects is harbouring an illegal AI. If you know anything about the Dark Age of technology, then you know the group has just been thrust in at the deep end here. The journey through the space station is long and arduous, as the team tries to pick their way through the myriad alliances and strong men on the station. They are not helped in this by the antics of Mikey. Every interaction he needs to be a part of. Every moment he needs to be the centre of attention. At one stage, Sarah is being asked by someone to use her powers to hold several boxes in place whilst they stack shelves before the shopkeeper answers her questions. I am thinking this is going to be a nice moment for Sarah just to vibe with an NPC, because said NPC kind of looks like Sarah's long-lost sister, although she's not, but still, it's a nice moment, as she's been quite quiet during the session so far. Then Mikey storms in, and I quote, "Oh, for God's sake, I will handle this," he says, polymorphing some stronger arms, and then just moves the boxes one by one, rolling a strength roll for each box. This takes 5 times more time than Sarah's planned actions, but Mikey just had to steal his moment. As things went on, it was also apparent that Mikey didn't actually like 40k anymore. Everywhere they went, he just had to stop and help the poor downtrodden, quote unquote, which seems to be a theme in other Warhammer related nightmares that I've read. Okay? It does. I'm being honest, man. Like, I'm sorry, I should have said that's North talking there. Yeah, it does seem to be a theme. Like it seems to be a theme that people come into these hobby nightmares and you don't half see people rail against the setting inside of it. It's just odd. It's just really odd, you know? This is why I always say, when you're writing an RPG, set out what the fuck that is at the start. Don't go into lore, don't go into rules. The first 5 or 6 pages should be you telling people verbatim what the world is and what to expect from the games. And if you're not playing it that way, you're not fucking doing it right, because that's how I wrote it. Alright? You paid for this box set, you paid for these rules, here are the rules. You know? Anyway. Alright. He would help the poor downtrodden. Not by righting wrongs per se, but by injecting himself into their lives and dictating that the party would now spend several in-game hours chasing down the bosses of some factory workers to get them fair pay, or to, and get this, set up a fucking workers' union for them. Everybody else at the table just assumed he was leaning into a heavily satired caricature of the working class demagogue. But no, this was just Mikey now. No. At one stage, we are talking with Inquisitor Aurelius via the Holovox. Aurelius is quite a flamboyant gentleman, to be true, and he was quite upset with the lack of progress so far. He told the group that they had to get on with things and stop interjecting themselves in local politics, as he was docking in 7 hours and needed access to that core so that the AI didn't rip shreds through his small fleet. Sarah and David were very apologetic, but Mikey waved him off, telling that Aurelius that he was in charge of the ground team and they would be doing things his way from now on. Aurelius said nothing and switched off the feed. Dude, talking that way to an Inquisitor, that's just death. He's dead. Then Mikey asks, is Aurelius gay? Now, I am a bit taken aback by this and ask, I have no idea, why does it matter? Romance options, Mikey says, rolling his eyes. And I may have been inclined to like him more despite him being such a fucking bigot. Mate, says David. I'm gonna say it like an Ogren. Mate, says David. That's more of an orc, isn't it? Nah, never mind. Mate, says David. You've said like 3 words to him. How can you know he's a bigot? How can he be anything else in this setting? Mikey said, rolling his eyes again. Oh my god. This guy's a fucking moron. Oh no. How can he be anything else in this setting? Go fuck yourself, you little chode. Get in the sea. I should have just called it there, but my morbid curiosity forced me to go on. I wanted to see what he would do, so at least I'd have some evidence for when I didn't invite Mikey back. I could tell him, well, all the things you did. There were many others that were there that were just general arguments about Mikey derailing us at every opportunity with his political bullshit. After about 4 more hours of excruciating play, we finally got to the central core of the station, where the party fought off several battle servitors before finally shutting down the core. On the outside of the station, however, the AI had already annihilated many of the Inquisitor's ships, including a strike cruiser of the Black Templar Space Marine chapter. Oh no. Oh no. Ha! Nothing lost there, Mikey gloated. He's such a douchebag, I'm actually starting to like him. He's such an idiot, and it's like he's really committed to the bit. You know what I mean? He's really committed to being like this arsehole. Like, okay. If this was a character he was playing, sorry, my voice went there, my balls are dropping. If this was a character he was playing, that would be amazing. But it's not, it's just him. So, when Aurelius comes aboard, he was not pleased. He stood before the party with his own henchmen and a few Black Templars. He says, Mikey says, I successfully led the boarding party here. Mikey smiled. What did you do, O powerful Lord Inquisitor? He was literally pulling a, nothing personal, kid, heh, on the Inquisitor. I just snapped. I never kill people off like this, but I just had to. Aurelius took his Volkite pistol from his holster and melted Mikey's head in a single shot, dealing enough damage to kill him 4 times over. When the dust had settled, he put his pistol back into his holster and turned to the remaining 2 characters. Now, he said, report, please. Mikey was irate, and we got into an argument there and then about how he had ruined my game and campaign by being a douche, and now I had apparently become an incel in our time apart, despite being married at the same time. Safe to say, we didn't speak anymore after he stormed out of my apartment that evening. I still play with David and Sarah, and we managed to get 2 dudes to join us who played Guardsman Brothers, which was awesome. Now, I have a bit of a heavy question to finish things off with, so you don't need to read this part if you don't want to. But please hear me out. No, mate, it's been such a good story so far, I will read this bit. Alright, so, whatever it is. My wife, a few weeks ago, filed for divorce and told me she didn't want to be in the marriage anymore. Well, fucking hell, that went off a cliff quick. Jesus. I have been a good husband, but I have no idea what to do or what to say. How do I get myself going again, and where do I go next? I am genuinely a bit lost here, man. Thank you, Poncho. Okay, well, thank you for the warning. Well, that really did go off a cliff very quickly. First of all, very sorry that you lost a friend. It always sucks, but you know, I don't think it's that big of a loss, to be honest with you. I think you've done quite well there on your own and with new friends. In terms of your wife, alright, so if you've been a good husband, right, and a good man to her, then fuck her off. That's it, right? It's over. Okay? And this is going to be, like, super hard to hear. Super hard to hear. But she doesn't want to be with you anymore, man. Alright? That's it. It's over. Even if she comes back now and says, actually, I've changed your mind, don't. Don't. Once you've said these words that you want a divorce, it's fucking finished. It's finished. It's over. Alright? It's done. You know? It's done. There's no going back. Absolutely not. It's finished. So, here's the thing. You seem like a good guy, because we have exchanged an email or 2 before you sent this. So, you do seem like a good guy. So, I would do is listen. What all you're doing by sitting there and wallowing is wasting time. You know? I wasted as little time when my relationship broke down. I'm going to call it my marriage, even though it wasn't. We didn't get married in the end, but we were engaged for so long. When my marriage broke down, I took as much time as I needed, but that was it. Didn't take any more time than was necessary. I took a year, maybe, to basically get over it. And even in that time, I was dating people and seeing what was out there. You know, I'm getting laid and doing my own thing. I'd just have a little bit of a cry every now and again. You know, every couple of months, I'd have a little bit of a cry. And then I'd go back to what I was doing again. I'd be fine, right? I had friends. I devoted myself to my friends and spending time with them and having fun and going out and generally having a good life. And eventually, you start to touch grass and realise, dude, what the fuck I was ever upset about? Do you know what I mean? I know it seems far easier to say than it is to do. But fuck this woman, dude. I don't mean literally, I mean like get her out. Fuck this woman. Just leave. Just leave. Yeah, whatever she wants, do it. Whatever she wants to do to get the divorce over the line, do it. Say, thank you, baby. I'll see you. Bye. Okay? You don't want me anymore? Good. Because you know what? I've seen a picture of you, dude. There will be hundreds of women out there who would sit on your face. I'm not even telling a word of a lie. Right? There are hundreds of women out there who would chop their left leg off. I'm telling you now. So, yeah, if she wants a divorce, give it to her. Give it to her. Let her make the biggest mistake of her life. Give it to her. And never go back. Ever. Go find yourself a woman who's worth your time. Go find yourself a woman who treats you like you are her project. You are her guy. You are her thing that she loves and you're above anything else there in the world, right? Go and find somebody, and they do exist. There are women out there who will look at you and go, wow, look at this guy that I'm with. You know? Who'll be glad to be with you, and they're a partner, they're a teammate. Okay? There are loads out there who will want to be that to you. Right, okay? You will have your pick, but make sure you retain your dignity. Do not fight for this woman. Don't. Right? She didn't want to fight for you. She's tapping out. She's tapping out. So fuck her off. Leave. It's hard. I know it is. I'm telling you now, though. Leave. Say, okay, no problem. No problem, babe. Here's your divorce. No problem. All right, bye. See ya. And leave. And go and rebuild your life. Because the more time you waste trying to get this fucking gash to take you back, the more your life is on hold. You don't have time. You don't have time. If you're in your mid-30s, you don't have time. Get on with it. Get out of there. Find someone else. Alright? Go and live your life. It may seem darkest right now, dude, but trust me, she's done you a favour. Without even knowing it. Right? She's not doing you a favour as in, you know, she knows what she's doing. No, she's making a mistake, but she's doing you a favour. She's wasting less of your time, is what she's doing. Alright? So if you've been a good husband and a good person, give her what she wants. Okay? Give her the divorce. Move on. Get out there, move on. Because the more time you waste sitting and wallowing, the more time you're going to regret of having wasted later on in your life when you go, fuck me. You know, I really wish I could have talked to myself back then and told him that everything's going to be okay. And the quicker you get over this, the quicker that nice stuff's going to come along. Because that's how I feel, dude. About that year that I took sleeping around. That's how I feel. I feel like I wish I could have gone back to myself back then and gone, dude, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. You know? 2021 and 2022 were basically complete write-offs for me because I wasn't ready for a new relationship at all. In fact, I dated 2 women in 2022 that I could have had a relationship with, and it just got screwed up because I wasn't ready. I just wasn't ready. Right? Maybe we weren't compatible as well. Don't know. But I just wasn't ready at the time. You know? So I don't regret it anymore because I met somebody who I genuinely love and I genuinely want to build something with, which is amazing. But also, like, you know, I sort of wish that I could go back and say to myself, dude, you know, you're going to be fine. Stop wallowing. You're going to be just fine. Enjoy the moment now, and you've got this woman coming up later on in life. It's going to happen. It's going to be fine. You are the same, dude. You are exactly the same. They'll be queuing up. Get yourself out there. You know? Get yourself to the gym. Get yourself eating right. Go and have a cry in the shower. The shower is your time. Go and have a cry in there. Whenever you need to. And then use that pain. Get in the gym. Go running. Make sure you're eating well. Make sure you're processing good things. Mentally too. Read some books. Read the Stoics. Read Marcus Aurelius. Alright? Read Aristotle. Go and read some Stoics. Ryan Holiday's books are really good. Go and read those. Alright? Get out there. Make sure you're putting yourself on an even keel. Read some fantasy books too. You know, do whatever you... Enjoy your life, dude. She's giving you your freedom. Take it, fuck her off, get on with your life. That's my advice, alright? Okay. I love you a long time. I will speak to you tomorrow where I will be showing you your... That's it. Your custom Space Marine chapters. We are on chapter 4 of that Exalted Company video series. So, after we get to chapter 5, we're going to be doing Xenos stuff as well, which is going to be absolutely awesome. So, love you a long time. Speak to you tomorrow, and have a good one. Bye now.